Welcome to the 2020 Global Peace Film Festival interview. My name is Kelly Devine. I'm the Artistic Director, along with Nina Strike, the Executive Director. Please join us in welcoming Barak Heyman with the film Comrade Dov. The film is on our website, and you can find out everything about it if you go to peacefilmfest.org. The festival begins September 21st and runs through October 4th. Tickets are already on sale, so please check out Comrade Dov along with all of our other programming. And now let's start the interview.
Welcome, Barak. It is so good to see you. And it's also so good to have Comrade Dov in the festival this year. It's one of many films from the Heyman brothers that we've had over many, many years of the Global Peace Film Festival. So let's start by, Barak, just tell us about Comrade Dov.
Sure. I wanted to ask you first if the global peace have already arrived, because you've been working on it for so many years already. Where is it? Where is it? Comrade Dov, as you see behind me, it's my film I directed and produced. It took me only 5 years to make, not a big deal. And it started actually many years ago, before I even started to film it, actually. I met Dov Hanin at 2003, as I was a young journalist, and I went to interview him because he was a candidate to the Knesset, to be a Knesset member, a parliament member in the Israeli Knesset, as part of the Communist Party, which is the only joint Jewish and Arab party in Israel. And he didn't make it to the Knesset at that year, but I fell in love with him completely. So there was nothing erotic about this falling in love, but other than that, there was all the symptoms of falling in love. I missed him when I didn't see him. I was very excited every time I saw him. And I was just like, literally like drinking his words, because I met someone that I never met before, anyone like this. Someone who is so far in the left, the most radical left-wing person in the Israeli politics, yet such a great patriot, someone who loves Israel so much, loves this place so much. In the weekends, he's going with his wife to around the country to hike the mountains, and he's very optimistic, and he's very nice, and he's very gentle, and he's very positive. Because most of my friends, including me sometimes, who are very much far in the left, are becoming, along the years, very pessimistic, very sad, maybe sometimes even aggressive, and not so nice to talk with, because they are so full of anger and depression. And then you see him, and he's so much full of life, and you always see the bright side of everything. And for me, it was shocking. So I started to follow him, not as a director, just as a comrade, as a friend, as someone who cares a lot about the politics. And I would meet him once or twice a week in different kind of demonstrations all over Israel and Palestine. And all those years, I tell myself, I need to make a film about this guy. There is something very special about him. People will care about him. But I was very busy with making many other films, which many of them were screened in your beautiful festival, the Global Peace Film Festival. And then in 2014, after I know the guy for more than a decade, he's giving me a call and telling me, look, Barak, there is a nice guy asked me to make a film about me. And I told this guy, I'm happy if you make a film about me, but you should talk to Barak, because he is a friend of mine, he is a director, and once he mentioned the idea of making a film about me, so you guys should talk. And then this guy is calling me and telling me he wants to make a film about Dov. And I say, no, don't touch it. Are you crazy? It's mine. He's my Dov. He's my character. He's my hero. But then I felt very bad with myself, because I don't allow him to make a film, but I also don't make it by myself because I'm too busy with other things. And I came up with a very beautiful social socialistic and communistic solution. Let's make it together.
Ah,
Why to share? Let's make it together. But the guy ran away after 2 weeks because he realized that it's very, very complicated to make a documentary film. But I continued to document Dov, and I was just going every week, once, twice, 3 times to the Knesset and to many kind of demonstrations. And I started to collect more and more and more materials. At the end, I ended up with like 485 hours of materials, which is terrible, because what do you do with so much materials?
right.
And, I hired the best editor in Israel, Nili Feller. She made beautiful films you probably have seen, like Vals with Bashir, that was nominated to the Oscar by Ari Folman, and she made beautiful films by Rantal, and she's a great storyteller. So together it took us quite long time to find a way to balance all the elements of the film and to create a film which I hope will be super interesting for you to watch, all the people that are listening to us right now, because in one hand, it's about him, and he is just a very beautiful, charismatic, interesting, and complicated person. At the same time, it's not about him at all. It's about Israel, and it's about Israel politics, and it's about many different kind of unknown layers of the Israeli society and of the Israeli politics. So I'm inviting everybody to watch the film because I think it can open the door for many interesting, some of them very sad also, some of them very happy, but this is life, the combination between all of it, to the crazy, beautiful, ugly, racist, amazing, bad, good life we have in Israel.
So you say you were inspired by him as a person. His while you were following him, when you rededicated yourself to him, which, by the way, I even before I ask that question, the lovely way the film starts with the very first time you pointed a camera at him, when you hadn't even had the sound on, and you admit years later now in this voiceover that you can't even remember what was being said. Was that your editor's idea to start with that, or was that yours?
It was my editor idea. I was very embarrassed of it. I thought it's a stupid, silly joke.
No.
But she told me, and I agreed with her, that it creates the right architecture, the right rhythm and energy and attitude of the whole film, which is not always so serious and heavy. It's also sometimes light. And the whole film is very much based on the artistic idea that the form must be connected to the content, which means Dov, the main character of the film, is very, very straightforward kind of guy. What you see is what you get. He's not manipulative. He's very honest, and he's going all the way with his truth. Even when many people don't like his truth at all, and as you will see in the film, there are many people who are criticizing him like crazy, from the right and from the left. So he's very much controversial guy in Israel, but he's very honest and complete with himself. So I decided together with the editor to make a film that artistically will be created with the same kind of method. It's not full of manipulations like we have in many other films, you know? There is hardly any music.
Right.
There is hardly, actually never in the film that you see something and you hear something else. And this is kind of manipulations that we're doing in many films, and you've screened many of our films in your festival, and we always work with many different kind of layers of music, and we create manipulations because this is how you make cinema. It's fine. And in this film, it's what you see is what you get, which is the same way that this guy is doing his politics. But if it sounds to you in any way boring, then you will be disappointed, because when you see the film, it's running very fast and it's all the time full of surprises and full of complicated issues about life, about politics, and full of drama and action, but without any kind of manipulation. And in that sense, I think the film is very, very optimistic and positive, because it shows you that there is a different way of being a politician. You don't have to be manipulative, a liar, narcissistic, corrupted politician like you have in the States and we have in Israel all over the place. You know, you can be active, you can be effective, you can be efficient, you can be influencing the reality and still be a true, honest person.
Did the course of making this film change your attitude?
Yes.
Anyway, about politics.
The film changed my attitude, because after following this guy for so many years, for sure I was very much affected by his optimism and activism, which means being so close to him helped me to remember that we must not forget how to imagine different and better life. Because he always used to tell me the depression is the most right-wing thing. And we are in the left, we must always believe that we are able to change the world. It doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that we for sure succeed to change the world, but we must believe that it's possible. And if you believe you can change the world, you cannot be pessimistic.
Well,
This
then,
is
Wonderful.
This is one thing.
Wonderful.
Second thing, it's about the activism. Don't sit at home, watch TV and tell yourself, oh, yo, this Donald Trump is so horrible. Oh, yo, this Bibi Netanyahu is so horrible. Oh, yo, the occupation is so horrible. Oh, yo, the racism in the police in US or Israel is so horrible. Go and fight, not only by demonstrating, also by uniting with other people and for social and fight for justice. And there is, if you remember, there is a beautiful moment in the film when he tells me in the car, when he drives his car to a very, very little demonstration, and he tells me something very beautiful. The smallest demonstrations are the most important ones. 10 people go out to the streets to demonstrate for something which hurts them. This is the demonstration you have to be part of.
well, this is exactly why we programmed this film and many of your films, because at the center of our mission is to use art, primarily film, to provide moments of inspiration, to provide models of creating a better life that people can take away in their own life and in their own community. So this is exactly why we were attracted to this film, and we're so happy that you were generous enough to be able to share it with us. And if there was, if there was one thing you wanted to urge people to do, to take away from seeing this, what would it be?
I think it would be what happened to me when I asked him one day, tell me, Dov, it's not for the film, just tell me as a friend. I know you have 3 kids, 3 sons. I know you love them to death. They are the most important thing for you in life. I know you want them to live a good life. He said, okay, what's the question? And I said, don't you wish for them to go away from this racist, crazy, corrupted, horrible country we have in Israel, and to have much better, more simple, more easy, more decent life? I don't know where, somewhere else in the world, in Europe, in America, in Australia. And he looks at me like this and he said, hell no. Because the taste of life, the meaning of life, the happiness in life, the satisfaction in life is knowing that you do everything possible to make the place, which is the most important place for you, a better place. And this is what I wish my sons, to feel that they are doing whatever they can to make our home a better home.
That's
Beautiful.
that's just wonderful, and that's you know, at the heart of what we want to present in the Global Peace Film Festival. So we are so delighted to have Comrade Dov in the festival this year. So just tell us what's next for you, and how can our audiences support not just this film, but your work as a whole?
Well, this is a very good question, because unfortunately, we do seek support, because it's very, very complicated times for us financially. We are both, me and my brother, working now on two different big projects. My brother is making a very beautiful film about a family from Jerusalem who adopted two kids from Guatemala, like 25 years ago. And one of them is on the spectrum with Asperger. And he was flying back to Guatemala with him to search for his biological parents. And it was a very dramatic, very emotional, and very beautiful journey, which opened many different kinds of issues that I think every human being will be attached to. And I'm working on a film which hopefully, if I find the budget to complete it, will be ready in a few months, which is about a very great, very successful Israeli artist, nearly 90 years old, called Danny Caravan. And Danny Caravan is one of the winners of Israeli awards for arts. He's a sculpturist, how do you say it?
Sculptor.
Yes, and he has those, it's called sightseeing, like a huge sculpture. So he was like designing like those big monuments all over the world, and also in Israel, and also in Europe, and also in Japan. And he's very, very political, and he's very much fighting against racism and pro-human rights, and he's involving it in his arts. And you can Google Danny Caravan, and you will see amazing pieces by him. And so those are the two projects which we are now dealing with. And if anyone wants to be in touch with us and to find a way to support us in one way or another, or just to be our friends, can either look for us in Facebook, Barak Heyman or Tomer Heyman or Heyman Brothers Films, this is the best, or just to go to our website, heymanfilms.com, and then you can just email us, and we'll be in touch with him, and we can show him parts of what we're doing, and we're always happy to meet new people, good people.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Barak. Thank you so much. And again, we're so looking forward to what you're working on next. Everything that you've shown us to date has just been amazing. Again, the body of work at Heyman Brothers Films, when you check it out, when you go to heymanfilms.com, you're really going to be impressed with the range of films that they've accomplished. So everyone, thank you for listening in. Remember again, tickets are already on sale for Comrade Dov and all of the events at the Global Peace Film Festival. The festival begins September 21st, runs through October the 4th. Our website is peacefilmfest.org. Go to the Watch tab to find out all the ways that you can watch our programming. If you have a question that you wanted to ask Barak, we also have a form, a Google form called Submit a Filmmaker Question. It's a really simple form. You just need to write down your question, your name, and provide your email, and we will be sure to get that to Barak so he can get back to you. Again, check out Heyman Brothers through all of their social media channels, Global Peace Film Festival media channels. See you at the festival, and thanks again. Take care.